Hey collective, it's Quantum Brown here. Still on a Sunday night. The 2nd of April. It's about 10 to 9 after our previous call with Donna Fisher talking about EMFs. I want to bring on Lop Tom straight afterwards just to talk about CTGX, Operation X, and a few things that are going on in the background. There are confusing people and also exciting people as well. So I just wanted to give Tom the floor just to go through a few things, and perhaps if you wouldn't mind, this will be probably a bit of a training session. So if those on the call, if you want to log into your Lobster account, it might be advantageous to follow along with Tom. Tom, you have the floor.
A training session. No, you got me on the fly.
Oh yeah.
What's new?
I've already logged in, mate. I'm ready to go.
Very good. You know what? There's so much happening at the moment, but I haven't had much sleep since that Thursday. Can't remember now. See, it's all a big blur. I think it was Wednesday night. We had our normal training, and then into Thursday, and then I discovered I received a message, a post from Lisa. Thanks, Lisa. Again, you sent me this post. Ask me, what do I make of Operation X? Well, what's Operation X? I hadn't even heard of it. And then I started looking into it, and I thought, hang on a minute, it's only been going a couple of hours. And then the more and more I looked at it, the more and more I realized how legit it looked. Now, look, at the end of the day, you know, we can only go by the information that is presented to us. And everything that I was looking at made it look extremely legit. And the more and more I looked, the more I realized this is the real deal. I looked at the website, I looked at all the stats, I looked at the swap link that they provide. I read up the background about what's going on. And CTGX, as everybody knows in my group, I'm a big fan of CTGX. In fact, it's always been in my top 10 of favorite tokens or assets. The reason being is that CTGX is sitting on probably the highest ratio of assets to tokens on the planet. Right? The only thing that comes even close to it, or very, it's like pretty close, is Guardian. Guardian has 10 times the tokens, 10 times the assets, but it also has 10 times the tokens. So it's pretty close. Guardian has $132 trillion in assets backing 10 billion tokens. CTGX has $14 trillion in assets or value in gold mines and whatever. In fact, I think 14 trillion was the value of the gold mine on its own, possibly the largest of its type or gold mine in the world. But they have lots of mines, and that was based on the price of gold at $1,500 per ounce. It's now 30% higher than that. So we could probably be looking closer to $20 trillion backing CTGX. Okay, so moving right along. Thursday morning, I discovered this thing, or was it Thursday night? Like I said, I can't remember. The whole thing's a blur. And I have only had a few hours sleep since then, because the more I dug, the more excited I became. And I thought, this is an opportunity to just write your own check. It's a license to print money at the moment. Now, I have to admit that I wasn't listening to what I normally preach, which is just, don't jump in, right? Just take your time, watch the market. The market will always come down to meet your price. Well, I was sort of a bit gung-ho because I was so excited and enthused. I just jumped in, and I was so excited when I started securing a lot of these tokens, thinking that they could really race up very quickly. But instead, the issuer, when he woke up the next day, because I was doing this when he was probably sleeping, he basically started filling orders that were much cheaper. Well, that didn't help my cause, did it? That just made me even more excited, because now I could get more of them. Now, this is a very, very, I think it's going to be a very short window, very small window at the current prices. So we have, those of us that have been trading or buying or accumulating CTGX, which is going to be the assets that back the people's token. So the people's tokens are going to be a combination of Netcoin, QNet, and now and it was also CTGX, which is now being transitioned across to Operation X. And then I'll explain what they're doing with Operation X in a second, but and why the transition. But basically, that was the assets were there to back the new version of Bitcoin. Okay, so these assets have been sitting there waiting since about 2008. That's when they were secured, back in 2008. Now, the person that has been overseeing this was the same person that was overseeing Bitcoin to begin with. Okay, so it goes by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. You know, many of us thought that he had died and whatever, but he basically has been underground, and now he's come back to basically reveal the true people's coin, the true Bitcoin, the true decentralized, asset-backed, fully compliant, ISO 20022 compliant token, which is fully asset-backed, but not just fully asset-backed, it's back to the hilt. So it's pretty exciting to get some of these. Now, what's really, really exciting about this is that they're offering a one-to-one swap with Operation X. The code name is OPRX. One-to-one swap. Now, they're predicting that the launch, the official launch of Operation X will take place within 90 days. And that's also a very interesting time frame. During these 90 days, they will be, you know, someone's just put the, I can't see if that's the actual swap, one-to-one swap, but there's a specific link where you can go in and you will be able to swap this for the next 90 days or until they're all used up. I personally don't think it's going to last 90 days because they have only allocated the same amount of tokens in OPRX as exist with CTGX. The thing is, though, there's going to be new people buying Operation X, and they don't own CTGX. For example, the people that watch this video and the recording of this video, and it might be in a week's time or a month's time, they'll watch this video and they'll go, oh, I haven't heard of either. I'm going to jump onto Operation X. Well, they will never owning a CTGX, so they're going to take away from those people that are sitting on CTGX that haven't actually found out that that CTGX is being replaced, and they may even miss out. So time is of the essence. Now, Brownie, I suggested to you 2 days ago, but between us, we have not had the time, have we? So I suggested we need to get on and do a quick, just a quick Zoom update about this, get everybody onto this, because this is an opportunity that cannot be missed. So they're anticipating that within 90 days, they're going to launch Operation X at between $2 and $5 per token. Now, having said that, if you divide 1 billion CTGX tokens into $14 trillion, you get $14,000 per token. That is the intrinsic value of CTGX tokens, each $14,000. Well, actually, that was when gold was only $1,500. So now gold's like $2,000 plus US, right? So now you're looking at $20,000 intrinsic value for CTGX, and they're going to be launching Operation X at an absolute bargain at $2 to $5 each, and you're getting one-to-one with your CTGX. So that leaves a huge, huge upside potential, like $2 to $20,000. Are you kidding me? That is just, what's that? That's a 10,000 times uplift. This is why I needed to get on you, and we needed to let everybody know, because this is one of those opportunities. Now, I've been all over this for the last 48 hours, and I've let everybody in my group know, and I've given them all the information, the step-by-steps. And you know what? We've been picking these things up at bargain basement prices with our group trades. We've been picking them up at 0.005, 0.006, and it's double that price now, and it's not sort of looking like it's going to come down anytime soon now. But having said that, it is the weekend, and tomorrow and the next few days, the token issuer may actually drop his price again and fill the low-lying orders. So having said that, if anybody picks up, like, let's say, for example, you pick up 1 million of these tokens, and it doesn't actually cost that much for 1 million tokens, and then they exchange them, or you can sell them for $2 each, even if you sold 10%. So let's say, for example, you picked up 1 million of these Operation X tokens today, and then you were to sell 10% of them at $2 each. That's $200,000. $200,000 you'll get in 90 days, and you've still got 90% left. And then you can just write it up. You know, over the next year or so, you can just write it up, and you've always got cash available to tap into. That's why this is going to be so exciting. The other thing is that now we know that the mine is worth, you know, $20 trillion and all that sort of thing, but you can't liquidate the gold that's in the ground. Okay, you can monetize it, but you can't. It's not liquid unless you use a financial instrument to tokenize it, and that's it's not a consumer type of arrangement. But what they're going to do is they're currently sitting on a mountain of Bitcoin. You know, having created Bitcoin in the first place, they're sitting on a mountain of Bitcoin. I've forgotten the number. I think it might be 60,000 Bitcoin or something. It's just a huge number of Bitcoin. And they're going to liquidate all of these Bitcoins within the next 90 days. Now, it's interesting, the timing of this, and on that liquidity is going into this. It's going into Operation X. So there's going to be so much liquidity that it will create its own market, and people can come and buy and sell at any time. And you won't have these big swings and roundabouts in prices. So it'll be very, very liquid. It'll be a bit like trading or swapping between XLM and XRP. So this will probably just be like XRP. There'll be lots of liquidity. You'll just be able to swap in and out of XLM and OPRX. So that is really, really exciting. Now, I think that once he starts seeing a lot of traction in the purchasing and the swapping of these tokens, the first 1 billion tokens, I don't think he'll find or see a need to continue to drop the price. All right. He's actually not dropping the price, by the way. All he's doing is filling orders. And because we understand what drives the prices down, and as a group in Lobster Time, we actually regularly we move the market price because we understand how the token issuers work. They have a job to do. They need to issue their tokens. And if you create a big enough order at one price, the token issuer will perform what we call token issuer Pilates. He will stretch right down, fill our order, and then bounce straight back again. And the way he bounces back is he just buys his own position. All right, so he just spends like 1 XLM to buy his own position back, and then the price is back up again. And at first we thought we were striking it lucky, but we've been striking it lucky at least 90% of the time, if not more than 90%. So there is a strategy that works. We understand why they do what they do, and what it takes to move the market. We can do the same thing here again. We were doing that for the last 48 hours, and we were having a ball. We were getting our orders filled at 0.005 XLM, and it was just amazing. And considering that a CTGX was first launched at 0.1, pretty sure from memory it was 0.1, we're down like 5% of CTGX's original launch price when Whiplash was basically giving it a huge push, and there was a huge launch. I think it was about April last year. There was a huge launch with CTGX, and there were so many people just all over it. So now we're able to pick these things up at 5% of the price, which means we're getting 20 times more for every dollar that we spent on CTGX a year ago, or almost a year ago. So that's really, really exciting. So I just thought I'd share that with you all. There's a lot of information that, in fact, let me just share with you. Let me see where, just go to the website. Oh, here we go. I need to share the screen, don't I? Share. Here we go. Can you see that? I can only assume that you can see that.
Yes, we can see it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michelle.
But
Okay,
it's different on Change.
So change.org, this is the article that they launched on. Okay. So this is where it is now. This was only written March 30. So we're only talking 2 days ago, right? And it only launched 2 days ago. And in fact, if we bring it up on SDEX, let's just do that now. Let's bring it up on SDEX so you can all see it. Okay, I wonder if there's any copycats yet. It wasn't yesterday. Oh, no copycats. Awesome. Okay. So first of all, you can see that it is locked. There's only 2 billion of them. And we know that when we see the tokens that are the assets that are locked, they're usually 10 billion if we're lucky, or 100 billion as you know, that's part of the course, right? Down here, they're not freezable. They're not clawback enabled, which is fantastic. And look at the day they launched, March the 30th. And this is what got me really excited, because normally when we find out about this stuff, we find out like, a month or a year down the track, and it's still cheap, but we've just sort of found out about it. Now, when I found out about it, there was probably 200 trust lines. That was 48 hours ago. Now there's 1,283. And after this recording, I bet there will be like 1,500 to 2,000. And I bet a lot of these have come from our group, and now you guys are going to be jumping all over this, no doubt. And so that will go through the roof this week. Yeah, so basically Operation X, which is Operation x.xmint.io, that's the domain, that is the one. Okay, now let me just explain this here. So CTGX only has 1 billion tokens. And you might think, well, hang on a minute. This has got twice as many, so it should be half the price. Well, you would be correct in saying that, but now I'm just going to go back to that article, and we're just going to read this article. Okay, dear all token holders and community members, are you ready? As you all know, previously our move has been denied and was cyber attacked by various parties. Now, any one of us that were involved in buying CTGX last April and May are very familiar with those cyber attacks that they experienced last May and April. It just really mucked us around. That were not aligned with our organization's vision and mission. However, this unfortunate event turns out to be a blessing in disguise, as it gives us ample time to reorganize a fund allocation and re-strategize our plan. Now it's time to get it going further, or without further delay. But listen carefully and follow through with the guidelines to fully grasp this one-time opportunity. And this is not just a scam. Like we're reading so much about stuff, that is scams, it's ridiculous, but this is legit. We will only do this once, as timing is very crucial. And yes, timing is very crucial. Now, let me explain. 3 months or 90 days, what that does is that takes us through, in fact, I'm just going to stop the share for a second so that no one keeps reading. 90 days takes us through a very, very critical time frame. In this time frame, we are going to see the Bitcoin flash crash. We are going to see, what else are we going to see? We're going to see the RV happen. We're going to see, oh, now this is really interesting. I've been learning, reading and listening, watching videos and whatever about the BRICS nations. All the BRICS nations are colluding, if you could call it colluding, they're aligning to simultaneously sell off all the US Treasury bonds at that same time. And guess when that is going to happen? Within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks. Now that aligns with the free financial advice from the Kenyan president about, when was that? 3 or 4 days ago, wasn't it? 3 or 4 days ago, where he says, this is free advice, sell all your US dollars because US dollar will become worthless in 2 weeks. Well, now I'm watching this other thing that gives a lot of the technical data on the BRICS nations and how they have formed an alliance, and they represent now the majority of the trade commerce across the globe, and they outshine the US dollar in terms of turnover and influence. So you've got Saudi Arabia now aligning themselves with China and Iraq and Russia and Africa, and you've got all these huge countries. They've all aligned themselves as part of the BRICS movement, and the BRICS movement have basically come together and they've said, right, well, let's make a date. Now they haven't actually released the date, but they did say within 2 weeks. So that could be Easter or over the Easter weekend. They're all going to sell US Treasury bonds at the same time, which would suggest that the US dollar is doomed once that happens. Because if every country in the world, all the superpowers sell at one time, then the US dollar is pretty much cactus. Okay, so that's one thing. So that's an event. Then we know that the flip is going, and there's an announcement coming very shortly that NESARA is in full play. NESARA in America, GESARA globally. We know that the RV, contrary to what some people think, we just need to look at the facts, look at what's happening. The RV is like, it's literally shouting from the rooftops what's actually happening, not what people are saying, not what people's opinions are, but what's actually happening. It's shouting from the rooftops. We are happening, and we're happening at 1,000 miles an hour. It's like happening so fast. So we're going to see this whole thing flipping, and there's going to be so much chaos in the financial world over the next few weeks. So we're going to see that happening. And on top of that, you're going to have all the greenies and all the politicians and the political movements going on about the ozone layer. Now, apparently the scientific reports are suggesting that, I mean, they obviously believe what they're saying. We can only go by what they say, but they're suggesting that the ozone layer that is protecting the southern hemisphere, the countries in the southern hemisphere, is going to open right up. It's going to peel right back middle of this year. So in the next 3 months, which means that there's going to be excessive UV rays destroying or preventing vegetation and farming crops from growing. And they only have enough reserves to go for 3 years. So based on that, that's another layer. But you know what? That's going to be a huge distraction from the financial realm. And so when you see all these financial implosions left, right, and center, the US dollar and whatever, and then you will have a liquidity problem on the crypto market. We all know what's going on with Evergrande. We all know that Evergrande was supposed to pay out all their massive bonds on the other day, and they didn't have any money, so they wouldn't have been able to do that. We all know that USDT represents 80% of the liquidity in the crypto market, and it's fully backed by commercial bonds from Evergrande. So in actual fact, USDT has no liquidity. Well, it has no asset backing, which means it's not compliant, which means it's pretty much cactus like the US dollar. So you take the US dollar out of the equation, you take the USDT. Oh, how about this? The USDT is tethered with the US dollar. The US dollar is normally the stronger of the two and supports the USDT. Well, USDT is now copying it on both fronts, aren't they? They're copying it on the Evergrande front and they're copying it on the US dollar sinking front. Well, the USDT has got no hope now. And they've got no hope of providing the liquidity, the 80% liquidity to the crypto market that they have been enjoying in the past. So what does that mean for the crypto industry? What does that mean for Bitcoin? What does that mean for the market in general? Well, we know that Bitcoin drives the price of the market. It drives the market up and it drives the market down. So Bitcoin is pretty much at the mercy of the liquidity. Liquidity is drying up very, very quickly. It's about to fall off a cliff, which means there'll be almost, the liquidity will drop down to a fraction of what it is today. Everyone's going to panic. And what do they do if they're holding USDT? What are they going to do? They're going to bail out of USDT, aren't they? And then to bail out of USDT means you can't buy US dollar because that's fallen off a cliff. You want to bail out of USDT. So what do? You buy Bitcoin, you buy Ethereum. And what does that do to the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum? It goes through the roof. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to go through the roof, but not before there's huge amount of volatility. And in fact, there's going to continue to be a lot of volatility. Volatility will take out anyone that tries to do margin trades. That would be a short contract or a long contract. So short selling is going down, long selling is going up, long buying is going up. So if you take out a short position because you think the Bitcoin price is going to go down, you'll lose your money because the volatility will basically wipe you out and exercise or trigger a margin call. And if you go the other way, it'll do the same thing because the volatility will wipe you out. So do not trade any derivatives. Do not trade any short positions or any long positions. And for those of us that have been following us with regards to the Bitcoin flash crash orders, you guys are well positioned because when Bitcoin basically implodes it's going to be a perfect financial storm. We always knew that. So when all this news hits, Bitcoin will flash crash, and then due to the lack of liquidity, everyone's going to bail out of their USDT and they're going to be throwing it at Bitcoin. It's going to be driving it to the moon. So Bitcoin will just go up like a rocket, but there will be a lot of volatility on the way. So once Bitcoin runs out of buyers, which may happen by, say, July, which is perfect timing for this 90-day timeline, because this 90-day timeline takes them through to the end of June, early July. And the plan is to sell Bitcoin and provide and then pour that liquidity into Operation X. Now, if based on what I believe is going to happen and what I've known or what I believed that was going to happen for a long, long time and is now actually playing out exactly, we just didn't know the finer details, but we can see them now. We can see why it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. But we always knew what was going to happen, or at least we felt we knew what was going to happen. We just didn't know how it was going to happen. But now it's quite clear. And if Satoshi Nakamoto, if that's who is actually controlling this whole thing, if he sells out in that time frame, he's going to get maximum bang for buck. He's going to be selling out at the peak of Bitcoin. And given that all that liquidity is going to go into Operation X. That's why he believes Operation X is going to go for between $2 and $5 per token. Okay, once again, if everybody here can scrape their dollars together and get some Operation X, if you have CTGX, you've got 90 days to swap them. There's no hurry. It'll always provide one-to-one as long as there's some left, okay? So I wouldn't be waiting the full 90 days. And in fact, there's probably zero benefit in you even waiting 1 week. You may as well just swap them straight away, because unless you want to hedge your bets and you think, oh, I don't know if this is real, it may not be, it might be just a psyop or a scam or whatever, then, you can hedge your bets. But having said that, And hedging your bets might be you convert half and keep half. But having said all of that, the time to buy Operation X is now, and this is why I got onto you, Brownie, the other day. But as I said, we just didn't have time. It's time is of the essence.
Oh, don't worry, mate. I shared that QR code around the group, so
Great,
all good there.
So time is of the essence, and the right price to buy would be between 0.005 and 0.01. Okay, 0.01 and 0.005 XLM per Operation X. And I believe that everybody's order will be filled based on what we've seen in the last 48 hours. Having said that, if there's more and more buyers that come on and they pile in above 0.01, if they pile in above that, then it may not get back down to below 0.01. So this is where you need to watch it. You need to keep on checking back every few days. However, you know what? Exercise some patience. When you place a buy order or a scalping order, as we call them, as a group trade scalping order, just let it sit there. And you can let it sit there for a week. It doesn't matter. But if you want them straight away, get them straight away. And you know what? If the price does run away and it never comes back, well, if you had some sitting low and you didn't get it, you can always buy it higher. And if you did buy it at the current price, you'll probably be glad that you did. So you know what? You can do half. You can buy some at the current price, which is it's hanging around 0.01, 0.011 at the moment. In fact, let me bring it up on the screen, shall I?
Yep.
Oh, let me just finish reading this, actually. Then you'll get an understanding as to what's happening with the other 2B at 1 billion. Okay, so please listen very carefully and follow through with the guidelines to fully grasp this one-time opportunity. This will only do this once. Time is crucial. Okay, so that's what I explained just now. We have issued a new token named Operation X, OPRX, with a 2 billion tokens issued, in which 1 billion is available for a one-to-one swap with CTGX token, while the remaining 1 billion will be reserved for liquidity for 3 major exchanges with a combination of more than 3 or 30 million global users. Now, they're saying that that's locked and they have signed NDAs. I actually don't know what that means in terms of, well, first of all, locked, I would suggest would be the 2 billion tokens is locked, okay? So that means they can't print any more. Signed NDAs, I might, maybe, you know what, maybe it relates to the 3 exchanges, just thinking about that. That would actually make sense. So the 3 exchanges have signed NDAs, so they can't tell anybody. They can't tell their members nothing, not until whoever's in charge, if it's Satoshi, he gives the go ahead. And locked means they only have access to 1 billion of them. That's just locked. Now, where do you think 30 billion plus million, billions, millions, thousands, crikeys, where do you think 30 million plus global users are going to come from? Has anyone got any idea? I thought about this for a while the other day, and then I came up with a possibility. Okay, I'll put you guys out of your misery, so you don't have to worry about it or try and think about it all night. I believe that based on the fact that Stellarnet 1 year ago took over or merged with, or did a deal with MoneyGram. MoneyGram has tens of millions of users globally. Okay, so if tens of millions of users globally plus 3 exchanges with 30 million traders and members, between them, they all have access to this. 1 trillion tokens is going to go very, very quickly. Okay, so it's reserved for liquidity pools, right? Or for the liquidity pool, and it's used for future trading on these 3 centralized exchanges. Please be informed that this listing exercise will be done within 90 days starting from the 1st of April. So that takes us through until the 30th of June. Upon listing within 30 to 90 days, right, they're saying will be done within. That means it could be done within 80 days or 70 days. It's within 90 days, right? So upon listing, the starting price is expected to be $2 to $5 OPRX with our minimum of 10 billion liquidity in Bitcoin for these three exchanges. So they're expecting to dump $10 billion in liquidity from the BTC that they currently hold in these three exchanges. This is really, really exciting, and that's instant liquidity. Okay, this process and exercise are done in such time and manner to expedite our BTC reserve liquidation, which was pledged to these exchanges to assist with our second phase fund distribution of all token holders, now OPRX, and to launching the Crypto G Group decentralized bank, right? Decentralized bank with the full-fledged crypto services that includes the highest staking in the crypto industry of 45 to 80% annual profit return per year. Okay, now this here is the swap. Please use Lobster for a seamless swap process using the link below. This is a one-to-one swap. So if let me just open up, I'll just open up Lobster and then I'll show you the swap. Actually, it might even just, if I just click onto that now, it should just open it up anyway. There you go.
You're not
So
sharing.
You're not sharing, brother.
Ah,
We're all excited, mate, but can't see it.
Share screen. Here we go. Okay. Here it is here. So this, did you see this link that I showed you before? Did you see all that? Or did it? Anyway.
Can you put that link into the chat?
I will. I'll do that right now.
I just didn't swap the traditional way and it gave me one-to-one without the link.
Well, you can actually just sell them. You can do that, but no matter what the price differential is, it will give you one-to-one, no matter what the price is. Okay, so there we go. Well, what have I done here? Oh, I need a H in front of that. Did that actually work?
Yep. I got
Is that gone? Okay. So this link here is a one-to-one swap, no matter what the price differential is. Another reason that I was really excited by that is because when I found it, the price of OPRX was like 50% higher than CTGX. So I was then buying more CTGX because CTGX was that much cheaper. And then what happened was the token issuer of OPRX decided to fill the orders that were quite low, and then that drove the price of CTGX down even lower. But then it was actually a lot cheaper than what I had been buying CTGX for. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to put some low ball orders. And then I basically worked out, or as a group, we worked out some group trade orders, and we were cleaning up in the very low 005s. So that was really exciting. Yeah, so basically this is, that's the link. It takes you straight here, Operation X token to CTGX or vice versa. Okay, so if you just click onto this little lucky here, little arrow, and then it will put CTGX there, and then you get operation there. So you can just do, you can trade it if you want, or you can just do a direct swap. Oh, actually, that's not the direct swap. That's not the direct swap. The direct swap is another link. Where is that other link? This one here. Oh, that's it. That is the, oh, okay, no, this is it, right? So it goes one-to-one. And yeah, so you just get one there, right? So you just swap them straight across. So that's really exciting. And like, for example, if you put one here, you get one of those, right? One CTGX and one of these. And that will be available for the first 1 billion, and then the deal's off the table. But in the meantime, you can buy the OPEX, the operation. You know, if we click onto here and we go lumens, and we can see what price it is at the moment. There we go. That's the price at the moment, 0.011. Okay, and you can see here it was 0.0. This is just in the last 24 hours, right? So it was down to 0084, 0084, 009, 009. If we go the last week, which is the last 48 hours, we can see that it went down. Well, it's not as accurate. You can see here. It went down to 06, but it actually went into the 005s. So very, very exciting stuff. This is what happened when I first saw it, and then it came right down, and now it's bumping along like this. So an opportunity and a half. Everybody should put this in their wallet. They should have it. It's a fantastic asset. We now know what it's going to be worth as a minimum in 90 days, $2 plus. And if you were to get 1 million of them, how much would it cost you? Buy 1 million of these things. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's going to cost you 11,480. So if we copy that and then we just turn this into USDT, and then we go 11. Okay, it costs you $1,265. So for $1,265, you're going to get 1 million of these things, and 1 million will be at least 2 million, up to 10 million. They're suggesting in 90 days, and that has to be a good deal, right?
Already done.
Already done.
I'm working through my wallets now. I've done my main wallet now. I'm using Ben's tools to find out which of the other wallets I've got that have it. So I know I've got at least 3 wallets.
And I did the same thing yesterday. When it came right down in price, what I did was I went through all my active orders and I reduced all my active orders. I didn't delete them. I reduced them until there was just maybe down from 100 or 500 XLM for an order down to about 10 or 20, because I still want to know when those particular assets drop to the price that I set them at, right? So it's like a little a watch list, and then it's in my face. So when it fills, I think, oh yeah, I'll have another look, and then I'll decide at the time if I want to buy more. But at the same time, by reducing my exposure to all those active orders, I was able to rake together a lot of XLM because I had quite a lot of orders open, and I was able to get quite a few of those Operation X. So if you don't have any more money to put in, that's another way you can actually scrape some XLM together to acquire some.
Beautiful, beautiful. I've just found the other 2 wallets, so half this.
I can see you're going to be busy. You're going to be up late tonight, Brownie. You're going to be going through your wallets looking for spare XLM.
Yeah, I've found it, so that's good. That's all good. Yeah. Well, Tom, that's excellent. I know there was something to it when I first saw it immediately. So thank you so much for the explanation. I'll get this up onto YouTube tomorrow ASAP. I'll probably tonight actually.
What I'll do is I'll share this link too that I've been reading from. Where'd that link go? And then everyone can read it themselves, right? Chat.
Yeah, and I'll put these links for everyone else into the description of the video as well, so everyone's got those links.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
That's good. Awesome. So I don't know if anyone has any questions, but that's pretty much the message I wanted to share. I mean, you know what? It was too good to keep inside our inner circle. I had to share it with you guys because it's just golden. It's just absolutely golden, that opportunity. These sorts of opportunities don't come along too often, but you know, it had to be shared, right? Freely receive, freely give.
Thank
I
you
think
so
Jenny
much.
has a hand up.
Hi, thanks, Tom. Can I just get you to confirm that if we've got CTGX now, that we trade that for OPRX, and if we're going to sell some XLM to buy OPRX, it's just like we normally would do anyway.
Yeah, so what I would suggest is that when you see the price of, you need to align CTGX and OPRX. So if you could open or have two tabs open, okay? So you have Lobster with two tabs open at the same time. You might need to use two browsers to have your Lobster account. Oh, actually, no, you don't. You can have the same browser, the same account. You have CTGX open on one browser, on one tab, and OPRX open on another tab. And when you see the price of CTGX going higher than OPRX, you then buy with it, you trade OPRX because you're going to get more than 1 for 1. So let's say, for example, CTGX went to, and this is what's been happening. CTGX has been following behind the movement, the price movements of OPRX. So let's say OPRX goes to 0.015, okay? And let's say it's just jumped from 0.009 to 0.015, and CTGX is still wallowing around at 0.01. Well, that's when you basically, no, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. When CTGX goes higher than OPRX, that's when you swap your CTGX for OPRX, because you get more OPRX for 1 per 1 CTGX. That's how you arbitrage between the two. So you do need to have both tabs open, and you do need to watch both of them, because they do sometimes vary up to, say, 30%. In fact, yesterday I saw them a difference of 50%. And so you can literally arbitrage them 2 for 1. And because I hadn't had any sleep, or hardly, I was so tired on Friday, I saw that and I just couldn't process it. But if you're fresh and you're seeing it and you see that CTGX is more expensive than OPRX, that's when you just swap a CTGX for OPRX, and you'll get like 1.3.
Thanks, Tom.
No worries.
Excellent stuff. Any last questions? I'll see Kathy's hand up.
Yeah, my hand's up here. Now, that's all a bit mind-boggling, and I don't know if I can actually sit on the computer and wait for the prices to play around the right way. But right now I'm into my trading page, and I've got CTGX on the left going to Operation X tokens.
Yep.
And I'm selling, is that correct? I'm sorry, I'm not really up on this. And I'm selling.
You can just swap it if you want.
Does it make any, what's the difference? Well, all right. But my main concern is, what's the price?
Well, when you're swapping 1-to-1, it doesn't matter what the price
If you
is.
want to, oh, well, what do you put in the price thing?
You don't.
You don't. It'll.
All right. Says it's required. Does that mean it tells me it's required and it won't do it? So do I have to go to trading instead, do I?
Let me just sign into here. The reason it's not coming up on my screen is because I haven't logged in. Let me just log in for a second.
Yeah.
And then we will be able to see exactly what you can do. But it's literally a direct 1-for-1 swap. Or trade. You can trade it or swap it. Doesn't matter. Normally we don't recommend
it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but okay, so now on the
so now I've gone back to this link in this article that I've just shared. Okay, so you just click onto this red link and it now opens up. And what we can do is let's see the word trade up here in the URL.
Hang on.
See up here. in the URL? This is the URL up here, okay?
Yeah, up there it says, does it?
See the word trade? Just double click on the word trade and replace it with the word assets, plural.
Oh, why don't I just go to assets down on the bar on the side?
Oh,
No, you want swap, mate, not assets,
Yeah,
because you got a trading pair there.
yeah, assets normally, okay, so let's just go to swap, sorry.
I just go to swap assets.
Okay, so let's just click onto XLM and then we put in CTGX. CTGX.
And I'm okay, I'm buying CTG.
And then we
You're
just
selling.
click onto OPRX.
I've already got some of those though. So why do I've already got CTGX.
Correct. So
I've
you're going to
already got-
swap them one for one, right?
Yeah. So why do I need to go into XLMs?
You don't.
No, you don't. Okay, let me just walk you through this again.
All
You
right.
just click onto the swap assets on the left.
Yes, I've got that.
Okay, so now what you do, it always comes up as a default with XLM here and
All right,
USDT
as
here.
default.
That's the default. So what you do is you replace the XLM and you replace this, but this swap is what you want. So you want to swap out of CTGX. So you click onto the XLM and you just dial in here CTGX.
Yes, I've got that now.
Okay, and it will only find what you have in your wallet. Okay.
Yes, that's
So
right.
now you click onto the USDT and you swap that out for OPRX.
I've just put it into the Zoom chat, the actual URL for that.
Oh, great.
I've
Just
got
helps.
that.
Okay,
Oh.
there it is there.
All right.
But see that this is the one that you want up here. Okay, so then what you do is you just click onto your CTGX here,
Yeah. Mm.
and you highlight it, populates this, and you can see it's going to give you exactly the same. So if you then just go and hit the swap button, it will just swap it directly through.
Oh, I'll just say 100 here. And then
Yeah,
I'll
so
say swap.
if I do, let's say I do 10,
Mm.
right? It's going to give you 10. You just click onto, now I've got 0 here. See how it's got 0 here? If I now
Okay,
click
yeah.
on the swap and go confirm, and I'm confirming that I'm swapping 10 for 10, I just go confirm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should just end up with 10 OPRX, and
Okay.
the 10 will come out of the CTGX.
Okay.
Done. There you go. So
Yeah,
now I've got
done.
10 OPRX and I've only got 90 CTGX left.
Okay then. Great. Thank
It's
you.
as easy as that.
Yep.
No
Yes.
worries. Okay. Who else? Dale.
Hey Tom, how are you? Hey everyone.
Good.
Couple of fun facts, mate. I've been following this probably about 20 minutes after that petition email got sent out. So I'm being pretty heavy in following it. So got a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
OPXR. All right, we'll go on Q World here. Think Mirror. What is that? I'm going to get you really excited here, by the way. What's Think Mirror? Oh, actually, I'll start again. What does OPXR start like refer as?
XRPO. XRPO.
XRP,
XRP.
XRPO operation, XRP operation.
Well, what is OPXR operations?
Operation.
Yeah, it's
Now think
XRP
Mirror.
XRP
XRP operations.
well, that's what it is, Operation X. But
Yeah, XRP operations. Now, CTGX is all to do with XLM. Now, you got to go back before CTGX to CTG and look at their main goal. They want to be the first decentralized crypto banking system. So what I'm seeing here is that they're diversifying their system and their main goal is to be the first decentralized bank in the system.
yeah,
So this is very interesting. Following, I haven't swapped personally as of yet. But there's some interesting things happening. Out of the top 5 wallet holders, only wallet holder 1 and 3 have swapped. I think top 1 only swaps 40 million out of his. I'm just trying to find the details now, but there we go. 47 million. Over the 40 million were 2 and 3 account. Yeah, so top 1 wallet holder in both accounts is the same wallet holder too, by the way, if you didn't know that one. So he's dipping in both. I'm just following what the whales are doing, by the way, and a lot of us are in the group I'm in. But it is very exciting. I was on it straight away in our staff room here. Just trying to see if anyone knew anything, but I needed to get the people who know their stuff, like yourself, my friend, and you're yeah, all over it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was all over it back in April last year. It was just so exciting because when I delved into their resources, they're huge resources, and they had the right intentions from back in 2008 when they planned all this.
yes,
you know, and then it was designed to back the new Bitcoin, whatever that was going to be at the time. We didn't know, but we believe that those resources that they're sitting on were always earmarked for the people's money, for the decentralized people's money. And it wasn't going to be backing the old back Bitcoin, that's for sure.
Mm.
well, that's like what you were saying about Satoshi selling his Bitcoin and all that. Like, that's the same chit chat we're talking about over here as well. I'm just having a look at now, actually. Transfers, the first swaps into this account was on the 24th of the 3rd at 17:59. Another transfer was on the 25th, then the 23rd, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 transfers on the 30th within a minute before the email got sent out.
Yeah, it's obviously inside.
So something, yeah. So yeah, there's a few people doing some digging and all that at the moment, but it's all looking pretty promising at the moment.
Yeah, but they had to actually start transferring to get the wheels in motion.
Well, they used so when I called out the CTGX last week about the big price boom going up, what they did, it went up, the market cap went up to 9 million, and that market cap now is only 1.3, I think I've seen last. That actually pumped in to do this whole big swap thing. So the whole pump and getting all the orders in to get, you know, the max, I think that's the boost of the whole swap program, what's going on, and why the price is exactly the same and fluctuating the same for the 1-for-1 ratio swap.
Well, I don't think they're fluctuating 1-for-1. I think that they just agreed to swap out the CTGX 1-for-1 for the 1 billion CTGX.
Well, the prices were very similar as well, because you also got to remember when you're swapping one CTGX and there's 1 trillion tokens, a billion tokens, and then you got PXR is 2. You're pretty much swapping 1 for 50% in the end.
Yes, you are, except they've got a much better plan. And
Exactly.
that plan is to inject more liquidity and to open it up to 3 exchanges with 30 million plus users. And that's going to add a huge market and a lot of buying pressure, which will basically, we will ride the coattails of that.
Yes, definitely. And what those users, well, there's your first decentralized crypto banking.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
very exciting. Very exciting.
It is very exciting. So I don't know, I'm sort of waiting a magic number, maybe 17 days before I do a swap, you know, We'll see what happens. Brownie knows what I'm kind of talking about. I love that number.
dear.
So yeah, but it is looking very promising, and just need to see 3 more whales do some movements, and it'll be the pudding will be ready to come out the oven.
Yeah, I think the more that people start swapping, the cheaper that CT, or it's going to put downward price pressure on CTGX. So CTGX is going to struggle to actually keep the price up with OPRX. Having said that, we do always have that safety net of that 1-to-1 swap.
Yeah.
What I'm
Yeah.
hoping for is it to go the other way. I'm hoping for another price dip on OPRX, and then I'll just I'll progressively swap some of my CTGX, maybe for double, if OPRX drops to
Have
half.
you successfully done that yet? Because I've a few of the people in this group have already tried that on that. Now, if you go back onto the back on the screen with the OPX, is that you see that dip when it goes down to 0.8. That was a testing period when these people were trying to do it together at the same time, and the swap didn't actually go through correctly. They actually got 0.1 of the OPXRs back to the CTGX.
Okay.
So that's like, as I said, I've been watching it very closely. There's people actually putting their money where their mouth is on their theories, and they're putting it to the test at the moment.
Yeah. Where is it?
So, but there is things looking promising, but we're just trying to. I'm in the background just egging them on for ideas, but they've got the money to play with. I definitely don't. I'm not that have that much deep pockets, unfortunately. But they're definitely doing some things, and yeah, it's looking promising. But there's a few of them big whales, not like in the top 5, but they're in the top 20s, and yeah, they're just playing around and just waiting on for some comms, because as of yet, QSI, Whip, Emily, no one's got any information out as of yet, but they're looking into it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they hold back themselves just because they got burnt last time with the, we know about the hacking, the cyber hacks, and we didn't get the listing. But still, true investors should at least have their 10,000 tokens by now, which we don't. Who
No,
did that
that's
$100
right.
buy-in? So that's another
right.
thing. What has got me on the back foot is the whole, we haven't got our tokens what was being promised.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's one one little red flag in this whole thing. A lot of us in this other group is our main concern, but then it comes to your beliefs and what you want to resonate as well.
Yeah.
So is it a test? Is it how are you faithful to the vision and the cause? But yeah, but it's looking good. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be OPRX. Yeah, I mean, I've got, actually, if we just look at the trade here, well, so it went up 23% today. Well, actually, look at that. It hasn't actually moved that, well, yeah, it hasn't moved that much, the difference between it. But I have actually seen it up to 50%. They probably just haven't registered it. But you're probably right. They probably haven't allowed the actual trade to go through. I think they were just issuing. I think the token issuer is just basically taking out a lot of the filling the orders, because that's what he's been doing. He's been filling big orders, because I know that our group have been putting in big orders because we pile in all at the same price, and we've been putting it into the low 005s, and they've all been filled. And we put them in at 007s and 006s and 005s, and went all the way down to, well, that actually went to 003s, but we were sitting at 005s. but it's all very interesting.
Certainly is.
It's all very exciting. And I guess we only have 90 days to wait if they follow through with what they say.
Well, that's it. And it's the end of the financial year too.
Right.
Then the end of the 90
The
days.
end of our
So.
financial year. Yeah, but I think we don't really represent much in terms of.
No, but the old system does.
Yeah, but America doesn't. What's the end of the financial year for America? Isn't it January?
Oh, yeah, there's 6. Yeah, January. So
January.
there'll be 6 months. It'll be for us.
Yeah, look, I think that all this is going to come and go well before all of that. But anyway, that's not our issue. The opportunity here is that we jump on board to understand what it is, that there is an opportunity here. It's head and shoulders above all the other assets at the moment in terms of an opportunity. And we're just trying to expose the opportunity for what it is and allow people to take advantage of it.
Mm.
Oh, that's it. I don't know if you can bring up your share screen again. And if you go to the trade screen and you go into the trade menu, you see the sell price, the sell trade up in the corner. If you scroll down on the order book, the amount of the ORPEX, 64 million, blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah.
That's the swap count. So we've been watching that go down eventually. That's the swap count.
Yeah, so we're looking at.
Oh no, yours. You got to go to. You're in the trade. Is that the trade? You go back to the link.
Oh, sorry.
Off of the petition. Go back to the petition link.
Here it is. Here it is.
Yeah, and that top one.
So that's total OPX. So basically, it's this is the one we've got to watch. Oh, look at that.
That's the one you got to watch. All right, guys.
36%.
Exactly. All right. So just watch that one as well. You're welcome.
36% in 3 days.
Yes. All right. So this is what I said. I'm trying to wait for my magic number 17, but as it's looking, I might be sooner. I'm a small fish, mate. I've only got 200,000 tokens in CTGX, so I'm a very small fish. So I'm even thinking about putting 150,000 into it and keeping 50 in CTGX. Just every egg in the basket.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying before. Hedging your bets, just spreading your risk, or keeping a finger in the pies.
Oh, that's it.
Mm. Well, awesome,
Yeah.
guys.
In the end,
A nice little impromptu little training there. That's excellent. That's really, really good.
that's
Very good.
why I was a bit all over it on the Suffer Room channel the other day.
Yes, that's right. You jumped straight in. Jump straight in. Yes.
Well,
Yeah, I was.
It's great to chew the fat over stuff like this because it really does. It's like iron sharpens iron, right? So
That's
it's
right,
good to throw in what we have, 2 cents worth, especially if we have done some research. And
Oh, definitely, mate. If I know something you don't, power is knowledge. So, and that's what we're here is to share our
That's right.
knowledge
Exactly.
and what we see. And everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And hey, look, I've shown the strength of me watching something for 3 days religiously at the moment.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
Well, we only know what we know, right?
That's it.
right.
And
That's right.
and things like what I was sharing before about BRICS, all the BRICS nations, they've made a decision to dump all their US treasuries within 2 weeks, and that's going to decimate the US dollar. And the US dollar or the USDT is tethered to the US dollar, and the USDT is 80% of the liquidity in the crypto market. I mean, this is just a domino effect, right? So this whole thing is going to come down much faster than people think. And I think that that's probably the 3rd black swan in this perfect storm that's going to bring down the price of Bitcoin down to 0. It's going to create or trigger a flash crash. So we shall see.
Well, you got a story out about the US government selling, was it 41,000 or something Bitcoin in 4 periods in the next couple of months? I don't know if you're saying that. I'm just trying to hunt for it now to put the link in.
So the government's saying that that's what they're going to do. They're going to sell all
Yeah,
of
the
it.
US government is going to sell off in 4 increments. So there's going to be 4 big drops, but over a period of time. But I can't think of
They're
that.
probably representing what the CIA has been controlling.
I would say that's what I'm sort of linking it to as well.
Yeah, I mean, between JP Morgan and the CIA, they're the ones that were really, and the CCP, they were the ones controlling the price of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and don't forget about Wells Fargo.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They're I don't know. Something's telling me to watch them. I think they're going to be a key indicator of things that are going to come.
The big one to watch is Binance, and there's been a big warning for anyone using Binance Australia to pull all your money out, because Binance are under investigation at the moment, and they're suggesting or inferring that Binance is going to, well, first of all, they're guilty of money laundering and harboring whales who are using them for nefarious reasons, right? And nefarious activities. And that's now, it was like public. And that was
that big bust in New South Wales with the big money laundering scheme run from Asia.
Right. Well, that would only be the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, that was pretty much the public comms of what was going on. There is lots going on. I'm in Binance Australia. I don't know much about the crypto world, and that is deep, but I know a fair bit just from chit chatting. But I'm in Binance as well. I'm on the fence now to pull out. I don't have cold wallet accessibility or anything like that. I've got it on there. The thing with CZ, to me, and everything I've watched about CZ and the groups about, Binance and crypto world, is that he seems like a grey hat to me, that he is a white hat. He's working with it. The things what sort of bring me to say, Binance will be fine, is you go look at, he's literally thrown money at everything and he's fixed the problems what that organization has done in the past. So if they've been found guilty of something, they've always reimbursed and paid up a ridiculous amount of number of money as well. So he's got the history of fixing his mistakes. So as well as, when CZ Binance was working with the government for the digital intelligence investigation groups, this is blockchain network technology, wallet tracers, the ones what will be investigating the fraud and corruption when the blockchain network flags it, the AI system flags it. These teams will be the ones backtracking and going through all the wallets, where the money go, and follow the money for any criminal activity in the future. So he's helping the white hats in the end, the connections with CZ and Binance and the government tells me it's the good one, the good military side, not the black hats. It's a bit like an Elon Musk kind of ordeal. Refer it to, black hat wanted to put microchips on our heads. Now he's a grey hat, and the white hat is spilling the truth. I think this is going to be the crypto world's view, similar to what happened with Twitter, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that the white hats are going to freeze Binance. It's going to weed out all the whales, all the nefarious activities, and that will give them an opportunity to basically seize all their assets, all the funds they have in there. And when they've cleaned it out, they've cleaned house, then they'll reopen it.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, the likes of CoinSpot uses the API for or from Binance, so they're going to be pretty much incapacitated as well.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to understand that. So they really need to remember that an exchange is only there to do one thing, which is to exchange, not to hold, not to hodl. So you use them to exchange, then you move it on and put it into a hot wallet or a cold wallet.
That,
So-
yep, that's it. And as well as when everything goes down, just remember this is why we, you know, have prepping foods and stocks and all that for the period of downturn.
Exactly. But I think from what I'm seeing and hearing, this downturn is going to come in phases. And it's a bit like a tsunami. When a tsunami comes, the first thing that happens is that the water drains away. So when the water drains out of the beach, everyone goes, oh, look, the water's disappearing. But little do they know, on the horizon is a huge wave coming. And what's worse than the first wave is the second wave, because the first wave causes carnage. The second wave is on the top of the first wave, and that goes in much further. So this could actually be the same. So with the food shortages and the supply channel shortages, the first wave will cause carnage. It'll bring everything to a grinding halt for a period of time. And many of us will survive that. But when the second wave comes, many of us won't be able to survive it because it'll be a lot longer than a few weeks. And this is what they're now talking about with the drying up or the destruction of the crops and whatever, with the ozone layer sort of basically breaking down in the middle of this year. And then they've only got 3 years worth of supply, like farming crops and whatever in storage or reserves. And once they chew through that, and this is on top of growing more, but when you add whatever they can grow after the effect of the UV rays on the crops, plus you chewing through all their reserves, in 3 years' time, there'll be nothing left. Then what? So that's the second wave. And I think this is going to be a reality check. This year will be a reality check, and we really need to utilize the funds that become available to us through the RV, through this wealth transfer, through what we can, generate out of lobster with, OPRX and all these similar assets. We need to be very, very wise about how we manage those funds and what we actually do to protect ourselves in the coming years. It's like Noah spent how many decades building the ark, and everyone laughed because it hadn't rained in their entire lifetime. So things do change. Oh, and also recently, a lot of people probably here don't know that the African government spent, I think it was the African government, they spent over $1 billion on building a big dam in the desert. It hadn't rained there for like 70 years. And they thought that the weather was changing, the weather patterns, so that it might take a couple of years to fill, because they wanted to capture some of that rain. Well, it filled in 2 months. They finished building the dam and it filled in 2 months. So, and this is a place that hadn't had any rain for 70 years. And so this is, and also the Euphrates, I think it was the Euphrates River, and that's quite biblical. I reckon times will change when it starts running backwards. Well, it started running backwards, the Euphrates River. So there's a lot of things happening on the globe, which in our lifetime right now that are shifting. The sands of time are shifting, and the whole, everything's shifting. So our financial world is shifting. And I think the life that we've been used to will now change completely. So we need to be, for those of us that are living on the coast, we may need to look elsewhere to live in preparation for what's coming. We just need to pull our head out of the sand and look at the facts and, basically protect, or prevention is better than cure, right? So if we go out in the country and start buying up some farming land and start growing our own crops and whatever to feed our community, local community, that's a way of survival.
I'm in the desert for a reason.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Lake Mary's just down the road. There's already a big natural dam out here already.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
well, the desert probably won't be a desert for too much longer.
No, that's it. I do believe it. And as well, Tom, back you up on the whole double tsunami. You're 100% right there. I agree with you on that. The first one's going to be hard. because everyone's going to experience it, because this is where the system needs to transfer over. You know, you got to shut down an old system for a new one to turn on. So there's the first tsunami wave. The second one will be, I think that's going to be another awakening moment for the sheep, because the system will be in effect. The RV would have happened, Lobster Wallet, Stellar Network, blockchain, quantum system will be up and running. So it will be for the people like us who have spent the time and looked into it and tried to wrap our heads around this amazing bit of information and technology. And, kudos to everyone who's doing it, because it is a very out there subject and topic to learn and understand.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Oh, definitely. Puts a engine to shame, I tell you. But with the system, it'll be up and running. We're going to live the two worlds where, it's like Charlie Ward mentioned at the beginning of the year. Sometime this year, we are going to be living in two worlds. There will be the QFS system and it will be the Cabal system. And then, people got to realize, well, how do these people survive? And, these humanitarians are handing out money and helping things grow and helping communities. And then you got the Cabal system who's absolutely bending them over and taking everything. They have to witness what was meant for them if they don't wake up as well. So I think that's going to be the second wave, because not many people are awake to this new system and how the world should be.
Well, it's a bit like when Moses led the Israelites across the desert to the promised land. The elders lost faith, so none of them got in, but they got to see it from the outside.
Exactly, mate.
No one got to get in there, right? It was only the youth. But no, all the elders, because they rebelled and they lost faith, they didn't get in, but they did see it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad all my elders here in this group have faith still, and they're not going to be abandoning.
No, we're all there. We're all there, 110%.
Definitely.
It's very exciting because we can see it. We know the future. We know what's going to happen. We know how it's going to happen, and we know approximately. Well, we know what order it's going to happen. We just don't know what day or what week.
Time frame.
But now the dominoes are starting to line up. When you get the likes of Satoshi rolling out his 90 days and you're seeing all these bits and pieces happening, you go, well, you know what? It all makes sense now. So now the August timeframe for a potentially August for a crypto market, it's not just a crash, it's actually a flatlining of the crypto market. And then September being a month of rebound, a lot of exciting news with the public awareness or announcement of the RV, starting with the Iraq and everything else, right? So the RVs would have happened by then, well and truly, but the public gets to know about it months later. So that will be September, because September is always, a positive month. And then October is always a good month for a crash, right? A stock market crash. But this one will be the biggest of all, the biggest of one ever. So that'll be a flatlining of the stock market. And then people will wonder what happened to all the money that was backing the stocks. And they'll find out that it's on Stellarnet. And then they'll come knocking on our door. And that's when the tsunami of people will come and look for people like us that can help them find some funds on Stellarnet, whether it be Lobster, whether it be Aurora, whether it be whatever wallets are available at the time. How can we get our Q phone so that we can get access to our funds on the QFS and things like that, right?
Yeah,
so
it'll be huge.
There's going to be millions of people looking for people with someone that can help them. And that's our role. That's why we all need to pay attention now. We need to get up to speed now, and we need to learn the do's and don'ts and the hows and be prepared and empowered so that we can teach all these people and help them, because they will need, and that'll be part of our humanitarian role, helping to facilitate those that are looking and need the access to the funds and helping them get access to the funds.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's I think it's a very noble cause.
Mm.
Like
what we're doing.
all of us here in the group, we're here for reasons, not by accident that everybody's here now. I mean, this is in pre-launch, right?
Mm.
And we all come here with our own experiences. We all come to the table with some, we all have our own opinions, but at least we're on the same frequency. At least we're on the same page. We're talking the same language, and we're very much in tune. It's like tuning into a radio station. You got like 50 radio stations or whatever on one radio, and it's just a slight frequency change to switch from one station to another. Well, at least we're all on the same station.
Yeah, it's true.
This is
Very
where
true.
we learn, and this is where we collaborate and we share experiences. And Dale, that was great. Your input there and your insight from your perspective and what you've been learning and researching. And then we're all trying to do our bit. We're all trying to share. It's sometimes it's a fine line between sharing too much, which overloads people, and then they don't make sense of anything, and sharing the right amount. So that people can go away, take what they've just learned, and actually put it into practice. So it's going to be very, very exciting days ahead. But the next 90 days with this Operation X is going to be really exciting, knowing full well that each of these tokens will be at least $2, if not higher, in 90 days.
Happy days, and
Happy days.
they're the funds we need to get started. We're all waiting
Exactly.
for cash flow to get this project going. Even if we can start doing things locally, it'll be a great start. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Guys, what
Thanks,
I'll do
Tom,
is
for those. Sorry, Brad. Thanks, Tom, for those words. And yeah, just don't forget, watch that token count too when you're doing your swaps.
Watch the which?
That
Token
token
count.
count.
Oh yeah, watch it come down. 36%. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
37%
there's only
in 3
74.
days.
64% left of
Mm,
swapping.
that's it.
Yeah,
So we're nearly halfway to swapping limit.
yeah. And that's when you'll see OPRX going through the roof. Once they're gone, because at the moment you've got $1 billion on one side and you've got $1 billion on the other side, right?
Two.
So when that billion turns
on the swap, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, once that billion on one side turns into the other side, all your CTGX are gone, and now you've only got $1 billion. But before you had 2, now you've got $1 billion that were ready for the swap, and now the other $1 billion are being released in 90 days. So now you've got to fight over getting more of the $1 billion that people have just swapped out, and you need to pay whatever they're prepared to sell it for.
They're pretty much setting it up to be twice as value.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what they're
Exactly.
doing. You swap $1 billion. You swap $1 billion. There's $2 billion there. You swap $1 billion. They're already gone. Well, half of the stock's already disappeared. Everyone's going to snap up for the rest of the half.
Yeah, and you know what the traders, they buy on rumor, sell on fact, right? So when the rumor of this pot of gold at the end of 90 days sitting there, all this liquidity is going to pour in, and they're sitting on $20+ trillion of assets and yada, 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 right? The prospect of this pot of gold, that's going to drive the price through the roof. So people actually force the price of stocks up on rumor. And then when it comes to actually cashing in on the pot of gold, that's when it drops, ironically. It's crazy, but that's just the way the market works. So I think that this could go to not 10x, I think it'd go to 100x over the next 90 days.
I'm probably say it will be $2 to $5 within the 90 days, just because we've already seen 36% disappear.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If we just let me to put this into perspective, let me just bring the calculator up. Hold on a second. Calculator. Right.
It's like they've come out with a new token and they're already doing like one of those Bitcoin halvings straight away before it even
Yeah,
released
it's
to
almost
buy.
like that, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just like that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say, for example, keeping the numbers round, let's say there's 10 XLM per dollar. Okay, so they're talking $2, right? So basically that's 20 XLM. So you go 20 divided by the price is currently 0.01 equals that's 2,000 you're getting per per $2. Right, so that's what it'll be worth. And you got 2,000 of them. So that's $4,000 for each one that you have now. So that's a 4,000 times uplift, and 4,000 times, so times two equals times 100 equals, that's a 400,000% increase, 400,000%. And that's definitely feasible, definitely within the, it's definitely feasible for that to happen. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen many times. So yeah, this is an opportunity and a half. Everyone should just jump all over it this week. Don't wait, because in 3 days, in 3 days, it's already gone. A third of it's gone.
That's why I keep reminding, watch the token count go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Because then when you start doing the swaps, you might be swapping and getting a lot less. Because don't forget, I don't actually, that's interesting. CTG apparently is still trading. See, I don't have anything. I came on board on the promotion from Whip and CSI. That's when I come across CTGX. I bought the $100. That was my first
CSI
buy-in on
or
CTGX.
QSI?
Yeah, I know. QSI.
QSI, sorry.
I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Some sort of-
The brother-in-law
some sort of a
dropped in
crime
during the week and he loves that
investigation.
show. It's been playing bloody for the whole day. It's just,
Yeah.
does my head in.
Yeah,
Oh, my
no, look, it's all, it's a lot of fun, a lot of excitement going on. And it's interesting. Every time Brownie and I talk, we've got something new to talk about.
There's always something going on.
There's so much happening.
Mm.
And I mean, look what happened yesterday up at North Lakes. I mean, that was so exciting. Everyone
I
was,
was
just,
buzzing.
you know, they're like, no one's getting off their seats.
No,
And
that's
I know you touched on this before, but what keeps people so attentive is the Blue Shield.
absolutely.
It just keeps their minds open. It keeps their minds fresh. They don't suffer fatigue. It's actually my secret sauce. So whenever we do a presentation, I turn that thing on, whether I mention it or don't. I know that that's my secret sauce. And we discovered it by accident when we basically switched it on, and then I had to keep on. I kept on asking people every hour. Do you want to, when I was doing a 5-hour workshop, do you want a break? Do you want a break? No, keep going. Well, then I said, I'm tired of standing up. I need to have a break. And they go, don't go. We want to get this done, you know. It's amazing what Blue Shield does. And it keeps you healthy all the time. And it gives you energy all the time. And those people that, look at, I wasn't listening before, but what about Bev? I don't know if she's on this call now, but Bev was coughing and carrying on with the Wi-Fi in her home. So she said to me, "Oh, look, because I went across to her place, and she said, let's sit outside because I cough inside." I said, "Why do you cough inside?" She said, "I don't know. I looked at, normally it's the air conditioner, and I looked at the air conditioner, it was off." I said, "Well, you've got nothing on. The only thing you've got on here is your fridge." Well, everyone needs a fridge on, right? And then you got your Wi-Fi. Otherwise, there's nothing else on. So what could be causing your cough? She said, "I don't know. But when I step outside, I stop coughing." So then I basically thought, well, let's just try an experiment. Let's just turn the Wi-Fi off, right? And you know what? She instantly stopped coughing. And I felt this weight lift off my chest. I couldn't believe it. I've never felt that before. And then I turned it back on again, and she started coughing. And I didn't feel the weight coming back on. But then I turned it off for the second time, and I felt that weight lift again. We're so used to being in a radiated environment. They should change the name from EMF to EMR, electromagnetic radiation, because that's exactly what it is.
It is. Yeah.
Being bombarded by it. So now I went straight home and I turned our Wi-Fi off, and I ran cables everywhere, and it fixes the problem. So you can, if you've got a Wi-Fi router, which everybody has, all you can do is, well, not all you can do. What you can do is you can log into your router via your computer via a cable. Don't leave it connected by Wi-Fi. You connect it by a cable, and then you turn your Wi-Fi off, and then you just run a cable from the back of your router, which is your modem, to your computer. And if it's in somewhere in another part of the place, the building, you just run a long cable. You can get cables that are, you know, like 30 meters long, and you just run it to a splitter. That's what I've done. I've run a cable from the router into another room, connected it into a splitter, and then 1 meter cables to different computers. And there's no more Wi-Fi, and it's much faster as well.
Of course, yeah.
So it's really, really good. And then she went and bought herself, we gave her a portable Blue Shield, the U1, which is the little blue one. This one here, you can see that she carries that on her, doesn't cough anywhere, carries on everywhere she goes, doesn't cough anymore. So these things work. Can you put your finger on it? No, it's one of these silent remedies, right? It just operates on a DNA level, and it pumps information, regenerative information that the Wi-Fi and the 5G and all the radiation that we're exposed to removes from your DNA. It pumps it back into your DNA, so it negates the negative effect. It doesn't do what the shields do that you stick on your phones and whatever. They actually reduce the emission of EMF from your phone. However, what these do, these are a powered device, and they actually pump information into your DNA. And that is the difference. It pumps out millions of frequencies, and the body will tune into the frequency it needs to repair its DNA. And that's how they work. And when you understand that, that brings it down to the nuts and bolts, and it is just amazing. It's actually a miracle in a box. That's what it is. And we had, Donna had a customer who can't breathe in a shopping center without it. He actually carries this box here. You see that? He carries this box, but with a battery pack in a backpack. And it allows him to wander through the shopping centers that have 5G all through them, and allows him to walk freely, breathe freely, but he cannot survive without it. It's like having an oxygen pack, but it's a frequency pack. So these things do work. Don't think for one moment, and like as an engineer, my background is engineering, I used to question everything like that, because you can't see it, you can't measure it, you can't test it. It's probably just mind over matter. But these things work. I'm still coming to terms with how well it works, but it actually does save lives. It reduces tumors. It makes people healthy again. It helps people sleep. And what that testimony that Donna read out before earlier, we sent her this box here. This is the cheaper one of the three, right? This one here with the silver top. We basically sent that to her, and they had not had such a good sleep, and the whole atmosphere of the place has changed. It's just amazing. It's like our meeting yesterday was electric. Now, we had the Blue Shield running yesterday, and it was just electric all afternoon, as it is every time we do have a meeting or a lunch or whatever, and we run one of these things. So it's definitely worth looking into. And if you want to improve the quality of your life in terms of just health generally, you run these things in the house 24/7. They're on. It just is fantastic. What can I say? But that's what keeps me going. People ask, well, don't you ever sleep? Well, I don't sleep much, but you know what? It's the Blue Shield that keeps me going, keeps me healthy. I mean, I think I've been cooked for 5 minutes in the last year since I've been with this Blue Shield. So it's pretty amazing stuff. Anyway, with that being said, over here, Brownie.
Yeah, I think what I might do is stop the recording. And I did see another hand up, so stop the recording for now. And thank everyone for attending. I'll get this out with the links to everything in the description, so everyone's got what they need. stay tuned for more to come.